What's going on?
Survived.
Home sweet home.
We both survived, I
We
guess.
both survived. I made it.
You did. You made
Yep.
it back. All in one piece.
All in one piece.
No major issues.
Yeah, so back from the Allagash. Ended up being 12 days, 11 nights, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was counting.
You were dealing with... Lacey had all the responsibility while I was gone. Everything went good here.
Yeah,
For the most part. I got a few questions. Some pool chemical questions.
Yeah, there's some pool issues.
Random stuff that came up.
The tire, I had to fill my tires with air, and
Yeah, you get a valve stem leaking.
something came off, and I was like, how do I put this back on?
What came off?
Remember when you put the...
Oh, to the air compressor.
You're going to clip this out, I hope.
Nope. It's all
Paul,
gonna be in there.
what is that called, actually? The thing snapped off the top of it. And
Yeah, just the...
I had no idea what was going on. So...
Yeah. Just...
Yeah. Just like, yeah, the lawn was getting long.
We made it.
We made it. You made it back just in time. However, I could have mowed it, but you don't like anyone mowing the lawn. You're particular about your lines.
I kind of am.
So I was going to have someone come do it to give you some extra time when you got home. But it wasn't too bad. You were able to get it.
I pulled in the driveway, took a shower, and jumped on the mower.
Yep. The neighbor noticed that.
He's like, dude, you haven't even been home like an hour.
Yeah.
Got stuff to do. But it was a great trip. Great experience. Super fortunate on how the weather turned out.
Yeah, you actually...
Really...
You lucked out with the weather, but it got quite hot.
Yeah.
We had a stretch of at least, 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
It was like mid-80s, 90.
Yeah. And we'll go over all that.
So.
Kind of the gear, the canoe, things I encountered along the way, what I do different, what I learned.
What you lost.
What I lost. Yeah, so if we talk about weather real quick, this is the weather I had expected that we're having right now.
Rainy?
This is what I planned for.
You expected rain?
Well, this is June weather. Cold one day, warm the next.
Yeah.
Raining 1 minute, sunny the next.
It was awesome
Just
last
a
week.
lot of unpredictability in June. We do a lot of camping in June.
You do a lot of camping.
Yeah, because I like to fish. So
flies are too intense.
And that's part of the game. And a lot of people would say, dude, you're going right up in the middle of black fly season. It's like, yeah. And there's a reason why I chose this time of year, which I'll get into. But it comes with the territory. It's something I'm used to. Some people, it would drive nuts. Black flies like that.
Yeah.
But if you like to fish, I like to dry fly fish, small ponds.
It outweighs the black flies.
I've done it since I was 6 or 7. And yeah, you get chewed alive, but you deal with it.
I really feel bad that Bo's going to come home all chewed alive.
I did it as a kid. I can remember coming back with a white Hanes t-shirt.
Oh, gross.
Just the whole collar, just red.
Yuck.
And the belly button area.
Ew, Paul.
Would be. And you're always wearing long sleeve, long pants, keeping your body covered.
I'll send him up in a whole body net.
But any spot, and I roll my sleeves up a lot because it was hot, but any spot that there's an opening, you'll get chewed there.
Yeah, some people I think noticed your forearms a little bit and your neck in one of your last videos.
Yep.
I think there was some concern for you.
Yeah, everything's good. A little tired that day. It was hot, and I did a lot of work, but it was a good tired. But so why'd I do the trip? Really wasn't
to get away from us.
No, it really wasn't. So multiple reasons on why I wanted to do this. One, I've never done the actual Allagash in its entirety at my convenience. So when I say at its entirety, most people consider the Allagash. So the Allagash flows north, and most people consider like Chamberlain Bridge to Allagash Village the river trip, which is about 93 miles. It actually, the headwaters start at T-Loss Landing, they call it, which is T-Loss Dam. So you actually got 5 miles of lake behind you when you start at Chamberlain Bridge. And so you're actually paddling southward at first. If you want to do the whole Allagash, you got to go backwards. So you go 5 miles across the lake to the dam, and then you're officially starting, which puts it at roughly about 98 miles The Waterway has it listed from T. Loss Landing to Allagash Village at 98 miles. But I will just say for simplicity's sake, it's 100 miles. So one, I wanted to do the whole thing with no pressure to basically enjoy the whole trip. Two, I wanted to document. There's a lot of history and there's a lot of stories behind the river. And I think most of us, because if we're going to do the whole thing, we've got a limited time frame to do it. That story behind the river and its existence gets lost in your schedule.
Yeah.
You got to be here this day. I got to be here this. My ride's going to be in Allagash Village on this day. And you're trying to balance that all out. And
a lot of kind of what you would want to call frontal thinking, like always planning and there's always something running in the back of your mind.
There has to be a lot of planning that goes into it if you want it to be enjoyable.
Yeah. But even like you're talking about in the moment, like you can't just enjoy it while you're up there or know that story because you're thinking there's always that, like, I got to be here. I got to get to this point.
Especially, and it's a very realistic possibility. If you're going to do the lakes, you're going to have days where you can't cross those lakes because of the wind. So if you're really bound by a tight schedule and then you get behind by a day, then you're even more in panic mode.
Yeah. Your nervous system's
you're like, I got to make up for this.
Like alert mode.
So it creates a different mindset. And I wanted to capture that kind of the story behind the river, not just some guy paddling the river. It's not about me paddling the river because I took tons of footage.
Because that'll get boring quick.
Yeah, it's not about me.
Just keep
paddling
going.
the river. There's a lot of history behind it. I took 4 terabytes of footage.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Have you even begun to go through it?
It's all organized and backed up onto several drives. And that in itself is a whole logistical mess because you got to be able to have, because I've got cameras that take the way I shoot, a lot of the files are very large. So I have to have the ability to handle all that and not run out of storage space.
Well, I think there was some concern or question at times when discussing this, like, oh yeah, Paul's getting ready to go do this trip or you're embarking on it. And they're like, wait a minute, this is what I got a lot when people found out you were gone. He's solo? Yeah. He went and did that by himself? Like what? And it was kind of a shocker to people. So
yeah,
why did you purposely choose to want to do this alone?
So I had it's kind of a self-reliance thing. I enjoy my own company and I wanted to just basically, part of the trip was to produce some mental clarity in life. We live in a life that is we're so inundated with noise, productivity, what we've accomplished, what our titles are, what our careers are. And it's go, go, go. You know, you're always hustling. You always feel the pressure of all that stuff. And my slogan, get outside, it's good for the soul, isn't like just a made up slogan that I'd come up with.
It actually means something.
Good. It 100% is legit how I feel. Mm-hmm. Like stuff like this really is restorative.
It's like when you're having a rough day with the kids or whatever, it's like, get outside. Let's go outside.
It's not I live it.
It helps you.
I truly
it really
believe
means
in it.
Something.
So I felt like doing it by myself. One is, you rely on yourself. There's no out.
So you wanted
there's an additional.
You kind of wanted to challenge yourself.
Yeah, but be alone with your thoughts.
Have some self-reflection.
Be able to,
which you totally got with 11 nights.
No outside influence on how I decide to film things or what my approach.
Or probably any interruptions.
No.
Like it was just you making decisions.
Because when you get another person there or more people, someone may want to do this and it's going to adjust. And you got to be able to bend. There's going to be agreeability between the two of you. It can kind
of like, you got to be in the mindset sometimes when you're around somebody.
Yeah.
And like if you're going to be with them alone for like 11 nights.
Yeah.
That can interfere with your like your creative flow, probably.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I thought it was very important for me to do it solo. And I know a lot of people, there's some people that you get two sides of it. You get people that are like, oh man, that is so awesome. That's such a great experience. Then you get people like, you shouldn't do this. This could be bad. But it's really,
I will say,
it's really relative to our world we live in.
Well, I will say I wasn't, for many years, I was like, I don't like the idea of you going hunting alone.
I've always done it.
Well, I know like going for the day alone or something, but I don't like the idea of you just being in the woods alone for like a long period of time.
But even when we were dating, I've always been under the mindset, like if I wanted to do a fishing trip, if no one would go with me,
well, I know.
I'm going.
I know that's you. But I'm saying as your spouse or, you know, we're married, we have kids. You just want the other person to be safe. And sometimes having another person there, that is like obviously a buffer in situations where something to arise, you have help.
You're right.
To a degree. The only reason I felt completely calm and really at peace with you going, I wasn't really worried about you because you're smart about everything with the woods. You know what to look for. You know what to think about. You plan ahead a lot. You had this trip extremely well planned. You've been working on it for a long time. You were watching the weather. You were completely set. But it was very helpful to kind of have contact with you.
Yes.
So that made me feel a lot better.
We'll get into this in a minute, and I'll try not to make this podcast too long because there's a lot of stuff I want to cover. But gear wise, I brought some gear that I kind of had some uneasiness about, like, really, Paul, like you're kind of making it too easy.
But for the purpose of your trip and what you're doing as a creator, you needed it.
I had to sit down and be like, what is my goal with this trip? And it wasn't for me to go out and do it like a minimalist, like my personal struggle. I wanted to capture something like beyond me that was bigger than me. There's a lot of history there. And there's a lot of stuff there that I wanted to be able to capture, and for me to be able to do it the best possible way. And then also to maybe help some people that maybe want some more convenience if they're wanting to do it. Maybe
some
people, you know, they don't want to deal with black flies. They don't want to deal with misery, discomfort. We all have varying levels of discomfort. I feel like, and Joe Holland said it really good on the podcast that when we had him on. You know, he likes
shout out to Joe.
That's right. He likes a level of discomfort, and I understand what he's saying is there's something about being uncomfortable that when you get back, say at camp, and I've talked about this a lot, you appreciate life a lot more. And we live in a society where we're super comfortable with everything. We live in conditioned spaces like all the time, from our cars to our houses. Doesn't matter if it's winter or summer. It's either air conditioned or it's heated. Everything's, and we don't like any deviation from that discomfort. I had a lot of people say, like, dude, you can't do this by yourself. Like, that's so dangerous. And I'm like, well, that's kind of a relative term.
Well, you also weren't doing the rapids, right?
No, but even in that, it's not.
I think it's just individual perception.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think like people are like, aren't you scared? So for me, it's like, scared of what?
Anyone in the woods should be scared of me.
Well, no, but it's like, I told someone, I was like, you ought to be scared of the crazies that you live around.
Very true.
Right?
However, I draw them out when I go to the woods.
You do. So like canoeing, that was the main mode of transportation back in the day. So if you go back a couple hundred years ago, this wasn't some foreign, like it wasn't some scary ordeal. Okay.
It was way of life.
It was the way they lived their life.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore. So now it's like, how dare you do this?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've adapted, we've adjusted to the modern conveniences of our culture.
So I would argue I'm in a way more dangerous situation driving to the grocery store every day.
Very true.
And living life like that, as opposed to canoeing down a river.
Well, because you're adjusted and acclimated to still doing that. I mean, you've been doing it your whole life and you've maintained that lifestyle, being out on the water. You built your own. I mean, not everyone can just go and build their own canoe.
Yeah, I think if they set their mind to it.
Well, I know I couldn't.
Yeah, you could figure it out.
I don't know, Paul.
Yeah.
I know. It would be a lot of energy, mental energy to try to figure that out for me.
Yeah.
However, I think a lot of people have the basic underlying understanding of certain skills that it requires to build a canoe, for example. Yeah, they could do it.
Yeah.
But it's just what people are.
It's all relative.
Yeah.
To our lives.
Once you get up
And
there,
I understand.
Once you get up there and you start doing it, you're like, oh, this actually isn't that bad.
There's a super rhythm. My planned trip, like you said, I planned the trip a lot.
Let's hold on a minute before you continue. I didn't grow up doing this, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts. I was appalled that I had to use the bathroom on an open box.
Do you remember that? That was our first
in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
You exposed me to camping in my I was 18, I think.
Yeah, 18 or 19.
Yeah,
it wasn't even an enclosed outhouse.
It wasn't an enclosed outhouse.
It was a box with a toilet seat.
A thunder box is what I was told.
Yeah.
I was informed of.
Yeah,
but I was like, I had no idea, but I was just willing to go and experience it. Some people are like, no, I'm not doing anything. The closest I'll get is glamping, right?
Yeah.
But I was willing to okay, you take me, show me what it's about.
You were.
But once I started doing it, I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. Even getting in a kayak, I was like,
yeah.
I mean, I was not exposed to that stuff. But yeah, you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, and I'm a super, my mind goes nonstop. I'm always thinking of what can go wrong with something.
I think people too are so used to, like you said, our
comfort
and our culture, but watching scary movies, and you get scenarios or reading books that are like that. Like, what if somebody's in the woods and they're a serial killer and they've got a gun? It's like
my aunt that asked me, she's like, "Aren't you scared?" I was like, "Scared of what?"
Because you haven't.
And then the next thing out of her mouth, she's like, "Well, have you seen Deliverance, the movie?"
Right.
And I'm like, "I have not."
Because you don't really watch that type of stuff. So it's all what you read, what you watch.
Yeah.
And then that fills your head too.
It does.
There are things to be consider. Like we had an experience in the woods camping one time.
That was with other people.
Very foreign, but we weren't completely secluded. There were other people around, but there's things you want to be prepared for to a degree.
Yeah. So my plan for the trip, was, and this book's a big help. I like Gil Gilpatrick's stuff. Okay. He was a guide on the Allagash for years. I built one of his books. I built one of his canoes from his book. Which
did you publish it?
We'll get into that. It performed
the canoe.
Amazing. So happy with it.
Do we have a name for the canoe?
Not yet. And someone brought that up.
Okay.
They're and I was like, I never even thought of it.
I'm wondering, is this something you want to? Do you want to invite?
No, maybe we can do
ask
a
people
poll
to send their suggestions for the name, and then we'll consider it.
Someone mentioned that, and that's a really good suggestion.
And is it going to be he or she?
Aren't most boats she?
I don't know.
I think so. So another good reference is one of his books.
Could call him Gil.
The Allagash Guide. Yeah, I could call the canoe Gil. Really good book. He kind of breaks it down as far as how you want to set up your itinerary. I super customize everything. He's got some menus and stuff in here, gear list. One thing that was super helpful in this book was he's got springs listed at every point along the Allagash and where you can find them.
That's super helpful.
And some of them I forgot about when I was at the campsite because I didn't need water at that point in time. But some of them were like,
did you hit them?
Yeah, some of them were like at the campsite Lost Popples before you get to Long Lake Dam. There's a nice spring with a hose coming out by the campsite
Similar
with a valve.
To where we see in the woods.
Yeah. And it was let it run for a minute to get the water, let the water be cold, and then fill up your water jugs. And so really helpful reference. I'll put a link in the description below. Gives you a good idea, especially if you're a novice to it.
Any other books, or was that the main one?
This was the main one.
Did you look at any others?
I didn't. I've got so many.
So did you do that?
I'm very fortunate in that I've got a lot of friends and people who are guides that I can reference nonstop. Like Jason Bushard.
Oh yeah.
Was one. I mean, he practically lives up there. So any sort of questions or anything that maybe I was like, how about this? Because some of these places I haven't been there in a long time. Things change. So a great reference if someone that lives there can tell you just flat out, yeah, this is what, Yeah,
definitely.
And I asked so many people, even rangers, like, what's your favorite campsites? Where do you like to stay? And because I want wanted to make the best of it and find the best campsites to stay. And you kind of get a different answer from everyone. Everyone has kind of their own, so it can be kind of hard to nail down like which one's the actual best. But I will say, so I'd planned, really for me, it was going to be wind was my big concern with the lakes to start, because they can be just outright dangerous.
Well, the waters are still really cold.
And it was T-Loss Lake when I got there that day. I took a temperature reading. It was 62.
Yeah.
Which it totally changed by the end of the trip. It was like bath water.
Yeah.
It had been so warm. It was crazy how fast the water temperature came up. So one, they can get super rough, and I'm paddling a canoe by myself, and generally the prevailing wind's going to be coming right down the lake in your face. So I had the flexibility to be like, okay, this is what date I want to go. So I wanted the beginning of June. Why the beginning of June? One, school isn't out yet. I wasn't going to be dealing with a lot of people and big parties. Two, black flies are out. That keeps people away. I don't mind black flies. No-see-ums are another story. They can drive you nuts at night. There was one night it was really bad with no-see-ums. Three, I want plenty of water when I'm doing it. Plus, so I'm using a cedar strip canoe. When you get to the river portion, you hear horror stories, people doing it late in the year.
Yeah. Water
flows low and you're dragging your canoe.
That's a really good point.
Okay. I don't want to be dragging a cedar strip canoe miles along the Allagash River. And actually I had someone reach out to me. He did it last year. And this year it was low. We'd gotten some rain before the trip. And I thought for sure, like, oh, we're good. No questions as far as water flow. And I get to High Bank on T-Loss, and the ranger had stopped in. He had just gone and adjusted the dam down by Webster Stream at the end of T-Loss. And he said they were already at their summer setting at the dam. And he said the water's low for this time of year already.
Wow.
It's like, really? And I kind of,
so
I don't want to say I fully was like, is he really accurate? So then I get to Churchill Dam. Ranger said the same thing. They were low. Then I get to Michaud Farm, and the ranger said they were around, like, we'll say mid 700 cubic feet per second. And they're typically about 100 or 200 more than that this time of year. And I was like, I believe it, because I said I had just come from Five Finger Brook to Michaud Farm. It's like 3 or 4 miles. And I said, there was a lot of spots. I started ticking bottom with my canoe, and I just jumped out. I was like, I don't want to be tearing up the bottom of my canoe.
So what do you mean when you jumped out? What'd you do?
Just stepped out in the water and
pushed it?
Pulled my canoe. It was basically in the back. I was just a hair heavier in the back when I was in it.
How far out in the water were you?
Right in the middle. It's some
That's
places.
How low it was?
Oh, some places.
Wow.
You're coming down, and I lost my sunglasses. Some places. And then
Where did you lose those approximately?
On Eagle Lake. Just as I get into Eagle Lake.
At the very beginning.
Yeah. So I'm coming down.
And no spares.
No. So I'm coming down parts of the river, and I'm going east, and the sun's in my face, and all you can see is like sparkling river, and you're going like, where's the deepest part? Like,
you did say though the sun would be at your back.
So when I was on the lakes and whatnot, Eagle Lake, most of the time it was behind me.
But that changed then?
Because you're going north,
so
and then you start veering east.
Was that hard?
You deal with it. You deal with it.
I would have been really frustrated if I lost my sunglasses.
Yeah. So the biggest concern for me was wind to start, because I'm on big lakes. So I said, okay, June 1st is going to be my start date. We'll see.
Yeah, because you had given me your map and your plan.
I wanted a couple layovers.
And you had built in a couple layovers in case the wind was an issue.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I was going to have some layovers no matter what, because there's some historical stuff that I wanted to take time to explore.
You had just kind of already planned for that.
Yeah.
Because you were thinking maybe, I was thinking 12 days.
Yeah.
Ish. But you thought maybe you were like 10 to 12.
Yeah. Really? So in Gil's book, he'll say, it's usually 7 to 10 days to do it. But usually it's someone who's on a bit of a time crunch.
Yeah.
I wanted some layovers. So as we get closer to June 1st, I'm starting to look at the extended forecast, and I'm going, okay, it's looking like my first day is going to be perfect. Not much for wind. It looks like the second day in the morning, not much for wind. And then I kind of looked, and there were some days that were going to be windy. So I planned my layover days on those windy days. So when I left for T-Loss, I'm at Chamberlain Bridge. So I have to head south. Okay. I only had like a 2.5 mile canoe paddle to the campsite. So I get there. And in Gil's book, he says, beautiful campsite, beautiful views. And boys, he wasn't lying. So I got there and I look out and you can see Mount Katahdin. And it was like, dude, this is nice. What a nice campsite.
Mm-hmm. And this was the campsite.
Very first night.
You were told that
so
it's not usually open.
The ranger pulls in and I'm chit-chatting with him. I had a good conversation with him. He had an assistant and then a volunteer with him. And I mean, I like talking to people. And I think he understood because he made the comment. He's like, well, we'll leave you alone because you probably don't want to see any people. I'm like, dude, I don't mind. I can sit here and talk all afternoon. It's no big deal.
Sure.
Like, I'm not that much of a recluse that
okay.
And so he said, he goes, my wife and I have tried to stay here for years and there's always someone here. He goes, you're pretty fortunate.
Well, that's cool.
He said, this is probably one
Even
of my
that time of year?
favorite campsites. Yeah.
Wow.
So after he said that, I was
Because you
like,
didn't see anybody while you were there.
I hardly saw a soul.
Well, no, but at that particular campsite, you never saw anyone.
No. I said, I'm going to stay a second night.
Yeah, you call when I talked to you.
Like I'm already messing up the
I talked to you,
schedule.
you were already like not worried, but you're like, man, I already want to change my kind of like, I just started and I'm already wanting to stay an extra night here. And I was like, well, do it if, like it's.
He said the same thing. When I was just talking to him, he didn't know who I was from Adam. But he was like, man, that's super cool that you're doing a trip by yourself in a canoe you built. And when he found out that I had a plan, but I was just kind of like, whenever I see fit to take an extra night, I'm going to do it. And he goes, man, you basically can just go with the flow. He goes, whatever.
Just like the water.
Whatever the river dictates.
Right?
He's like, he goes, just enjoy it. Enjoy the journey.
So you have, you've been in a season right now that I think you would encourage people to do, or if they can to so they're not crunched and have to, especially if you do something like this with the Allagash.
Yeah. So I still had to canoe. My plan originally was I was going to get there, set up camp, and then canoe. I had about 3-ish miles or so to go down to T-Loss. So my plan was to be on the water by 9. I think I was on the water by 9:30.
You were pretty good, I think, pretty consistent with your timing, your time frames. Like you're like, I'm going to get on the water this time.
Yeah.
And I should be at this next spot by around this time.
Yeah.
And then I'd get a text from you through satellite. You'd
like,
be
pretty well on point.
You not like right when you got there, but like you'd already gotten settled and stuff.
Yeah.
So you did arrive when you thought you would.
So I'm like, okay, I'm already pushing myself here to get everything set up and organized and then run down to the end of T-Loss because I wanted to document some of that down there. And that's when, after I talked to the ranger, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay another night here. So the next morning, it was supposed to be calm until the afternoon, which was going to be a travel day over to the western side of Chamberlain. I was going to stay in Gravel Beach. And so I'm like, I'm going to stay tomorrow. And I'm going to take tomorrow to go down and photograph, document, do whatever I need to do. So I did. And I didn't push myself that hard the next morning. I think I wanted to be on the water by 8 o'clock. And a couple hour canoe ride, hour and a half maybe, down to the end of T-Loss. Did my stuff down there. And the wind comes up, coming back. But I had 2.5, 3 miles to go. Not a big deal. So I canoed back up to the campsite. Got there, but got back about 11 or I think it was 12. Caught a beautiful brookie on the way back. One thing that I was very happy with, and that was a concern to start with, is I haven't paddled the canoe like really loaded down with I had a lot of gear and probably more gear than one guy should have.
Well, that was because of some of the stuff you needed for this.
It paddled well with the trips that we've done last year with it, where there's 5 of us in the canoe, maybe a cooler.
You mean with us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we've done some, and I paddled across a lake into the wind by myself with you guys in it, and was very happy with how it paddled then. This was going to be a whole nother level. And when I pushed off from the landing, when I had her all loaded up, it was dead calm. So happy with how easily it went through the water.
Yeah. We
Just
need a name.
really tickled.
We need a name for it.
Yeah.
So we can start putting that in this description of this canoe.
So yeah. So back, just a quick day-by-day recap. Caught a nice brookie there. Next morning, get up, dead calm. I get up early because I wanted to beat any breeze that was going to come up. So I get up early. It would be day 3 now. And my plan is Gravel Beach over to Chamberlain. So I'm going, I come through under Chamberlain Bridge, and I come around the corner into Chamberlain, just like glass.
That must have been nice.
And so I'm moving right along. Now my problem was, and I still need to work on this, and this was something I really wanted to work on this trip, is when I get a goal in mind, I'm terrible for just like, let's go. Let's get her done. And I'm going across to Gravel Beach. So in your head, you feel a little bit under the gun because you're like, I don't want to be out in the lake when it gets windy, and things can change real quick. So I get down to where like Mud Pond Carry would be off to my left and Gravel Beach would be. And I'm not really that close to it, but I'm looking across Chamberlain and it's like glass. It's 8:00 in the morning. I'm like, I'm a day behind, right? So I'm already off schedule.
There is no schedule.
But there is no schedule.
I tried to remind you that,
Yeah.
but
I wanted to spend 2 nights over to Pillsbury.
which you still could have.
I could have.
But you were kind of keeping yourself within parameters, I think.
Yeah, I'm terrible. And I had to keep talking to myself about that.
This was that reflection time.
Yeah. So I'm looking across the lake, and you don't want to get caught out in the middle of one of these lakes and all of a sudden have the wind come up. You're pretty vulnerable. You try to make your way along the shore. And anytime you get across the lake, you pick and choose the narrowest spots. Maybe you can hide behind an island, stuff like that. So I'm looking, I took about 15 minutes of contemplating. I'm like, it's 8:00. Screw it. Let's do it. So I looked over.
You adrenaline junkie, you.
Yeah. Aren't I a risk taker? So where Chamberlain Farm would be and whatnot, there's kind of a peninsula that comes out. And I'm looking at that peninsula and I'm like, I can get there in an hour.
Set a goal.
Yeah. So I start going.
Then he kills himself reaching it.
Yeah. And behind me.
All I can picture is you, every time you get in this canoe, just paddling like.
So yeah, I actually did an update.
I got this. Just
out
keep
there.
going. Just keep going.
And I'd already was like 8 miles in and I had not stopped paddling. I get in this, you get a rhythm.
You're like the Energizer Bunny on the Allagash in a canoe.
And there was one point, I think it went like an hour and a half and I totally had just like spaced out. And I kept telling myself like, dude, you need to freaking
chill,
enjoy the ride. Once I got to the opposite shore, I was like, okay, let's take your easy now. Let's not, because I was just digging. It's terrible.
Yeah, I see. You get a battery pack on you in the canoe, just going.
So then my goal was I wanted to get to Lock Dam by 10:00. And I got there at like 10:05.
So when you were paddling so furiously, any thoughts, or were you just like?
No, I kind of get. So it's like running. I like to run.
Liken it to kind of like when people that crochet or knit or do stuff with their hands. Probably when you woodwork, you probably aren't like carpentry or whatever.
Focusing on what I'm doing.
You're kind of just like in that focus mode, that zone. So, you were using your arms and your hands paddling. So,
So
you were just that is a form of therapy.
It is.
Yeah.
It was just like, I would say it's analogous to my runs. I'll go for a nice long run. And you just kind of lose yourself in it. I found myself doing that sometimes when I was paddling.
I wonder if similar to Forrest Dudley and his basket making.
Yeah.
Any type of.
You get the sounds of the paddle.
That water sound is really nice.
And there was no wind.
A lot of people like that video when you did that one.
There was no wind to speak of.
The sound of the
Yeah.
water with the paddle.
So yeah, I get over to the lock dam, then I had portage, and I get over to the stream. And the ranger said, yeah, there's plenty of water in the stream. You can canoe down that. I get in the stream, and this is where the first casualty happened with the sunglasses.
The
shortly
first
after this.
casualty.
So I jump in the stream. Of course, I'm like, let's get over to Eagle.
Well, hold on. Before we talk about the sunglasses, you didn't pack any SPF, any sunscreen.
No.
So I realized that after you got up there,
No sunscreen.
I was like, I don't think he brought sunscreen. And I was like, dang, I was more thinking like medicine or like stuff you might need.
Yeah.
But I did give you a tube of chapstick that had SPF in it. And I was like texting,
Rub that on my...
like, go rub that on your nose and under your eyes.
And I'm notorious for doing that with sunscreen.
Yeah.
Like
So you were already lacking.
You know what though? Looking back, I think I had some bug dope that had SPF in it.
Yeah, but did you wipe it all over your face?
No, I don't think I used bug dope once the entire trip.
So I was like, okay, so with the sun, you already didn't have SPF, right? Okay.
And that just radiates off that.
So then what else happened that would have been in relation to the sun? Your casualty.
My sunglasses?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. We get to the stream.
I thought that was the first casualty.
Well, it was. But I get in the stream and I start barreling down her and I come around the corner and there was a blowdown halfway across the stream. I was like, oh, I'll just go under it, tuck my head under. I had everything low in the canoe, except for I forgot about a fly rod that was sticking up out of the back of the canoe with my new net. Okay. Those hit the blowdown. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
There's some old alders off to the side. I scoot over and I grab the alders and I'm taking an inventory real quick. Like, how's my fly rods? My net's gone.
Where'd it go?
Here it comes floating down the
Did you not tell me
stream.
this?
I may have forgot to tell
I
you.
don't think you told me
So
this.
I kind of pulled it right out of the back pocket, but so I'm like, oh my gosh. I would have been devastated if I lost it.
Yeah, because that's really nice.
It is. So dodge that bullet. And I was like, you idiot. Keep those fly rods down.
Watch the negative self-talk.
Yeah. So I get out to the end of the stream. That's hot. Okay. This is one of those hot days. And I get out to the mouth of Eagle, or the beginning of Eagle. There's a moose off to the side. And I'm pretty thirsty. My water's up in the front of the canoe. And I'm like, I'm good. I'll make it to Pillsbury. I was pretty dry. And
A little parched.
Plane flies overhead.
Oh, I thought it was an eagle.
And no, I just put my sunglasses. For some reason, I had a strap on them, and I had them down around my chest. But I put them up on my hat, and then a plane flies overhead. Dummy me, I look up. They go flying off the back of my head, and just as I turn around, I'm watching them slowly go. And I'm moving forward, and I'm like, oh no. My sunglasses.
You're like, rest in peace, Oakleys.
Like, crap.
Were they Oakleys?
Costa.
Okay.
So I got a new pair here already.
You do?
Yeah.
Where are those?
In the other room. Same ones.
They already came?
Yeah.
Well, look at you.
No waste any time.
I didn't know you ordered them and had them already.
Oh, the fishermen never, man, they like their sunglasses.
Well, you should probably have a backup pair.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was casualty that day. Get to Pillsbury Island. There was going to be a day of wind the next day. That was going to be the day that I wanted to kind of explore the trains. I was hoping to find a little break in the wind. It never let up. And that wasn't a day I was going to canoe. That was a planned layover. So I was like, well, okay, the next morning I'll get up and canoe over to the trains. And I woke up early that morning to get a good start to hear the waves lapping against the shore. I'm like, holy smokes, what's up with that? Like, that's not good. I'm kind of secluded in a cove or in a near shore. But I looked out into Eagle and I'm like, oh my God, that does not look very inviting. And I got to go into that.
Did you stay another day there?
Yeah. So this would have been my second night there. So that was the morning I get up and I could hear something outside the tent.
Little
and
visitor.
Goose came at me hissing and.
Just the one. Male.
It was, yeah, I'm assuming it was the male. There was 2 geese with some babies and he turned around and started, and I was like, dude. Come on. I was more worried about the waves slapping the beach. So I was like, all right, I'll get everything loaded up and we'll get over to the trains. I had a couple miles to go just along the shore there.
Did you see any loons?
Yeah, I got some good photos of some loons up close.
What was it that came up to you that you said
Loons.
the loons? Okay.
Yeah. So I get over to the trains and I'm like, well, we'll go up and I'll do my thing there. And I get poking around and
Did you see anyone in the trains?
No.
No one at all.
Didn't see a soul. So
Boy, that place can get busy.
Yeah. I spent probably an hour and a half or so poking around.
It's kind of nice that you were there because usually every time we've gone, or that you were there alone, every time that we've gone, there's at least been somebody in there.
Yeah. By the time I get back down to the canoe, the wind had settled down.
Oh, that's nice.
And Eagle Lake was like glass. And
Jesus calmed the storm.
Yeah. I was like, thank you.
There you go.
So my goal that day was Schofield Point. And I see Farm Island out across in Eagle. And I'm like, I'll shoot right over to Farm Island, get in behind that, and then we'll see how things are around that. And it stayed calm all day long. I get over to Gunnar John's Bridge, and then the sun was out.
Were the guns out?
No. Sun's out, guns in.
Yeah.
And got to Schofield Point. Beautiful, beautiful campsite. That was one of the, I only stayed one night there. That was gorgeous. You get out on the point, you had like a 360-degree view of the horizon, maybe 270 degree. Stayed there. The next night or the next day was going to be Churchill Dam.
Mm-hmm.
That was about an hour and a half away. I portaged around Chase Rapids. Didn't want to deal with it. This wasn't a trip that I was going to do Chase Rapids. And my goal that night was to I ended up staying at Chisholm Brook and met two nice guys at Chase Rapids that had just come onto the river. They stayed at Jaws that night. They were doing the same thing. They were going to portage around Chase Rapids and they were going to stay, I think, on the ledges on Amzaskis. So I see the next day is going to be windy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's planned layover already because I want to do some fishing. So I stayed 2 nights at Chisholm Brook. That second day, we had some rain that night. And that second day was incredibly windy.
Was that a night you didn't have any luck with catching anything?
No, that was at, where was that at? Maybe Round Pond.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have tremendous fishing, but it wasn't a fishing trip. I had to keep that.
Yeah. Remind yourself of that.
Yeah. So it cleared up. Only really had one evening of rain.
Yeah, you really...
I got to Chisholm Brook before the rain.
Some hot temps.
Set everything up. Started to shower. It's like, I'm good to go. I'm laying over here tomorrow. Cleared off the next day around noonish, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But super windy. Wind died down that evening. Next morning, Amzaskis was like glass. Sun was out. That was a hot day. So my goal that day was Long Lake Dam. And now those guys should have been 2 days ahead of me because they were staying at the ledges. And they were going to Long Lake Dam the windy day. They couldn't get across the lake.
Right. And they were, from what you told me.
One was a biologist from Massachusetts, older, probably retired.
Yeah.
Probably my dad's age. They each had their own canoe. So I met up with the ranger at the... They
were pressured, though, because they had a
So
ride.
it changed the dynamic of the trip, right? So he told me, I'm talking to him, the ranger between Amzaskis and Long. He said, well, 2 guys stayed at one of the campsites right here by the bridge. And I was thinking to myself, he thought they were dropped off there. But I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if it was the 2 guys that were on the ledges and couldn't make it across because of the wind.
Mm.
So I come down, beautiful day, no wind, come down across Long Lake into Harvey Pond. And now I'm past the lakes. It's river, basically from here on out. And I can see a canoe at the end of Harvey Pond. Stop over to the campsite, get some water. They're gone at that point. But then I catch them at Long Lake Dam and they're portaging their stuff across. And so I pull in and I'm talking to them. They look tired. It was hot that day.
What day was this? this last
Oh,
the second half of your trip?
I forget now where we're at the point.
Because
That
Tuesday
would be
was it Tuesday, Wednesday?
I forget.
I just know those days were like really hot.
Yeah. Well, we had a stretch there. It was like 80 something that day.
Yeah.
So I'm looking. They're hot and tired. And I said, well, where are you guys staying? And they're like, well, we're a day behind because we couldn't get across Long Lake in the wind. So we tucked into a campsite. And he's like, well, we're basically going to go as far as we can today because we could be in Allagash on such and such a day. So they had most of their gear across in one canoe. And I looked over and they had an old time canoe sitting there. And I grabbed it and put it on my shoulders and ran it up over across. And they were pretty thankful. And he said, we were kind of saving that one for last because it was the heaviest canoe. And we were dreading carrying that across.
Well, you were a little answer to prayer for them then.
Yep. So I was like, guys, I'm staying here tonight. It's no big deal. They're like, can we help you with your stuff?
You're like, I can rest tonight.
I'm like, no, I'm going to just putter away at it. And
I'm going to go cook my rustic gourmet meal.
Yeah. We'll talk about food in a minute and gear. So yeah, the rest was river. Ended up Round Pond the next day. Pretty uneventful other than shallow waters. Get to Round Pond about 1:00. That was a hot day.
Was that the day you said, I've got to stop?
No, it was the next day. So
okay.
I'm super like, my favorite is, I don't mind doing like a really hard day. I like to work really hard at something and then get a day off. You feel like you earned it, right?
Man, you got some things.
So like the day that I did basically 16 miles. I did half a T-Loss, Chamberlain.
Like I work really hard. I get tomorrow off.
Portaged across and then was over to Pillsbury and Eagle. And I just
You're like all or none.
I just roughly looked at Onyx and I'm like, that's about 16 miles of lake that I did in a portage.
Yeah, you told me. I was like, oh
and
my
I was
gosh.
like, you feel deserving.
You were jacked up.
You feel deserving of a day off.
Busting out of your shirts.
And yeah, everything felt good.
Your muscles.
Everything felt good. The worst part was probably my hips because I've got very long legs and you're sitting in that canoe and your knees are up by your ears.
Yeah.
But I'd just stand up at various times. So yeah, Round Pond it was hot. I didn't set up anything until the sun kind of went down. I jumped in the water there and got washed up. And then there was a moose across the way.
All I can think of is when the sun goes down.
So then what was after that? The day you're talking about.
It was one of your.
I was going to go to Allagash Falls for my final night.
It was, so we thought you might make it home Thursday.
Yeah, so I was going to go from Round Pond to Allagash Falls. It was about 18 miles.
And you were, it was too hot and it was too long.
I got to Musquecook Deadwater and the air was just stale.
Yeah, it was really hot that day.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to stop at Five Finger Brook. And because again, there's no pressure.
Yeah.
No sense in me.
I told you, like, hey, if you want to stay, go ahead and stay through the weekend.
Yeah. So I stayed there, had a nice dinner. Beautiful sunset.
You sure you want to leave? You can stay there.
Yeah. And then made Allagash Falls the final night, portaged around. That was a hot portage. That was 92 that day.
Yeah. You kept saying, man, I don't know what I smell like right now.
I kept thinking, you get used to yourself.
I'm like, oh, great. I got to go pick you up and drive home in the truck with you.
Proverbial sweat. Like just.
I will say,
I
didn't smell anything when
I'm
I picked
surprised.
you up.
I'm surprised. So
you took care of yourself on the trip.
So that's basically day by day. There's more to it.
Well, then you hit your final Allagash Falls.
Allagash Falls.
And that was pretty. You sent some nice pictures.
Gorgeous. Yeah. We're supposed to get rain the next morning. It held off until
it was a little worried that you were going to have to pack up in the rain, but it actually didn't affect you.
Nope.
It was more until we got home. The rain started down this way. So.
Yep.
So we met you coming down.
Yep.
The stream.
And then it was home sweet home. It was. So as far as food planning and stuff like that, I planned out an entire menu.
Your menu looked awesome.
And I like to cook outdoors.
I don't.
Outdoor cooking is fun.
You like to cook in general. You like to cook.
So I had a full menu, everything planned out. Most importantly, the menu was specifically every day what I would eat.
Which
most of that was just to come up with a grocery list.
Well, you had
It was super adaptable after that.
Yeah, but you had both. You had like your itemized list, but then you had everything like laid out day by day.
Yeah.
And I really think, I don't know, people might be interested, but you could make an
I'll
recipe booklet or something.
I'll create a PDF. It has all the recipes that I use too. And I'll create a PDF and make that available. But what I did is, so I had a complete menu every day of what I was going to eat.
I was like, dang, can you just like cook this at home?
Then from that, I generated my grocery list.
I think people were worried, like, what's he going to like?
Yeah.
What's he going to be eating up there? And then you started posting pictures and everybody's like, wow.
I ate super well, and we'll get into how that was possible in a second. So I created my grocery list. But then once I was there, as far as me, I'm more of a intuitive eater. I go by how I feel.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
So those mornings that I do the big paddles, I don't eat breakfast. I would have a really good supper the night before. And all I would have that morning.
Why didn't you want to do a good breakfast if you were going to be, expending a lot of energy?
Because
paddling?
for me, I know it's like my workouts. I perform better.
Lighter?
When I'm empty.
Yeah. So that's something.
Just think about
that might be the opposite for some people. Then.
It might be.
Yeah.
But I had a good meal the night before. A really, really good meal. So for me, just think about physiologically, rest and digest.
Yeah.
Right? If you eat a big meal, you tend to be
sluggish.
Blood flow's redirected.
Sluggish.
To your GI tract. You tend to be less like motivated to.
So what did you do those mornings?
Just a electrolytes or some Energize.
Because you did bring
with creatine,
an electrolyte mix.
Yep.
So you weren't just drinking plain water.
No, because you're filtering.
You were replenishing.
You're filtering. Lost. Sometimes you got to filter some lake water or something like that. And
your filter worked great.
Yeah. We'll get into the gear here real quick. But yeah, so I had a little creatine, a little Energize. I use some Beachbody stuff. You can use whatever.
So the Energize is like a
little caffeine, a little quercetin in it. So quercetin's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant.
Yeah.
Helps with recovery.
So looking for something to give you that energy boost, but the quercetin, is
good
it
for recovery.
Quercetin.
Quercetin, yeah. It's a plant flavonoid.
Is really good. Just I think immune too. Right?
It is
for your immune system.
So during COVID, it was one of the recommended things you could take to help with kind of that pro-inflammatory state.
So I was glad you brought those things too.
Yeah, so those days I wouldn't eat until I got to the campsite. And then again, you feel a well-earned meal with it because I don't eat desserts. I would eat dessert, whatever I darn well pleased.
And some cookies.
Cookies.
That we made
stuff
for you.
I don't traditionally eat. So meals were very well planned, but I left it very adjustable. The hot days.
Yeah, like some
I would
days,
switch it up to something like maybe burgers on that day as opposed to we had a cool day and I made a beef bourguignon. Right?
Julia Childs.
What's
her name?
As a kid, I watched cooking shows like crazy. And
yes, Paul was watching cooking shows and drinking Clamato juice when he was 8.
I was an odd kid. I'm still odd.
What was the cook, the Asian cook?
Oh, Yen Can Cook?
Yen Can
Cook.
I
watched them all, man. I used to love cooking shows.
I'm like, man, what were you doing? But I'm like, hey.
Jean Pepin was another one. Yeah, he was another one I loved to watch.
Well, hey, it came in handy now.
Or Jacques Pepin. Jacques Pepin.
Jacques.
Yeah, I think it was Jacques Pepin. Anyway. So food was really...
You did forego a chili one night because it was too hot.
It was too freaking hot.
It was really hot. You're like, I'm not making that.
I was getting to the end of
I was like, what are you going to have? You're like, I'll have some deer steak.
I kept pushing it off because I'm like, it's too hot for chili. Tomorrow night.
Want to thank your friend's sons, Jack,
Fiddleheads,
and Eric.
Yeah, they gave me fiddleheads, or they hooked us up with fiddleheads.
I ordered some fiddleheads through them, and Paul's like, "You were like, are there more?" I was like, "Well, those." He's like, "I want to bring some of those on the trip," so got another bag of them.
So as far as gear, I went pretty unconventional. I wanted to be able to document everything, and I pre-packed the canoe to see what I had for room. And I'm like, okay, I got plenty of room. I'm bringing all of my big cameras. So I've got 3 big cameras that do most of my heavy lifting. And I've got 3 lenses that I like using a lot. And I'm like, if I bring 1 or 2 of those big cameras and leave the others behind, I'll have the lenses, but I'm less apt to use those lenses because I am a bit lazy when it comes to that stuff. I'm not going to switch them out. I just know how I am. I'm like, I need a camera body for every lens. So I made the decision. I'm like, I'm bringing all my big cameras. So if I want to use a 70 to 200 mil, I just grab the camera.
Yeah.
It's all ready to go. If I want to use a 15 to 35, that's already set to go. If I want to use a 50 millimeter prime, that's good to go. So I had a lot of camera gear and got to charge that stuff up. So I've got some solar generators. So I brought a Yeti 1500X that I've used a lot.
Is that the one we've used a lot when we go bird hunting? And
I've got some smaller ones too that I brought as like backups to charge up some other batteries. But the Yeti 1500X was going to charge my batteries. I also had we've been using some 12 volt coolers the past 2 years. I've got a big Yeti 12 volt cooler. That's a dual zone that I can have like freezer and fridge, which we've had really good luck with. I've enjoyed using it with the family. Made it a super convenience, not having to deal with ice and the schlop that forms when you're using ice in a food cooler, the space that ice takes up.
So that's that convenience we talked about. Yeah. We don't like to be uncomfortable, but
no,
we sure do appreciate
it. Was too big for this trip
in the woods
and a bit too power hungry. So I did a little research and I was like, maybe I'll get a small 12 volt cooler and try it out. A cheaper one.
And so it worked well.
If I dump the Canoe,
you won't be crying.
Whatever. Yeah. So what I did is I bought it's like I think a 35 quart or 35 liter, I forget. I'll put a link in the description. I think it's like Yuhomi. I think it's a Chinese company, which I'm not a big fan. I'm not, but it was recommended by a lot of people. So I froze all my food beforehand. The cooler can go on like freezer mode and it can run on AC or DC. So I 4 days before turned it on in the garage, froze everything in it with the contents. Everything in it, I was already sealed, but I vacuum packed everything on top of that just because it's more durable. So when that stuff starts to thaw, sometimes with frozen packages, they're hard.
Yeah.
And they can put little holes and then you end up with like
leaks and extra
like juice leaking from your meat
fluids,
and stuff like that.
It's a mess.
So I had vacuum packed all that stuff, froze it down.
Even vacuum packed your clothes.
I did. So I knew exactly, you can you can calculate exactly what you're going to use for energy on a day-to-day basis. So that 12 volt cooler uses about 30 watts when it's running. It's not going to run all the time. But if I just assume that I'm going to run it all day long, I can calculate how much. So that Yeti 1500X is like a 1500 and some change watt hour battery capacity. So I can see how much runtime I could get out of that fridge, or out of that cooler. But I didn't have to turn the cooler on until about 4 days in because everything was frozen.
Which was another good move.
And then all I had to do was in the morning, I'd plug it in.
Yep.
Get it down to temp, 38 degrees. Unplug it, throw it in the canoe to my spot. I'd get there, plug it in, get her back down to temp because it's a cooler. It'll keep her cool for a while. And the nights typically are cool enough. You don't need to run it.
Typically.
Yeah. Which
thankfully for you, the warmer temps were the second half of the trip.
They were. And so my goal is with any solar generator is I want to be able to get it to your most efficient charging pattern is going to be like up to 80%. Once you hit 80% on a lithium battery, the charging slows. And it has to do with how those lithium ions are finding places. I think I read an article years ago, Elon Musk had explained it as like a parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
You start with an empty parking lot. If you get a bunch of cars going in, like those are your lithium ions, they're easy to find a parking spot. But as it fills up, it takes more time to find a place to park those ions. So once you get to 80%, less efficient charging. So my goal is I don't want to get below like say 35-ish, 40%
Mhm.
in it, because I know from about 35 to 40%, I can get to 80% pretty quick with a 200-watt panel. So I had a 200-watt foldable panel that I would throw in the canoe. So in the morning when I'm paddling and the sun's out,
It was
plug that in. I'm
Charging.
harvesting sunlight. And I would get to the campsite. It would be 85% full
there
on
you
those
go.
sunny days.
There you go.
And I didn't use much from it. So I'd use it to charge batteries. Make sure that on those, you're using everything in DC, because you don't want to have to convert from DC to AC in those. That was super convenient. It made it, I also felt a little bit guilty about doing that, because, and I talked to a few people, like Joe Osgood was one who said, you know, man, he's like, Thoreau and those guys, if they had the ability to use that stuff, they would use it.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel.
I think that's a good point.
So it made it like,
I think it's also
it was so good on those days that it was hot.
You have to remember what your goal and
Yeah.
focus was for the trip, and not like you can't achieve everything.
Yep.
With that, different
So you-
focus.
Yeah, you got to plan out how you're going to discharge those batteries and how efficiently you can charge them back up. And you can calculate that pretty easily. I've had people complain about some of those solar generators and say they didn't get the performance out of them they expected. And then they tell me what they're using to run or what they're running from them. And I'm like, dude, that's kind of the expected runtime when you do
Mhm.
the math. Like, it can't run a full-size fridge for a week on one charge.
No.
Like, it's not going to happen. And you can see exactly how long it's going to run that fridge. And I'm like, that's about what's expected from it. So it was so nice on those hot days. I'd have filtered water, put it in that cooler. And when I got to a campsite and it's like 90 degrees, freaking ice cold water with a squeeze of lemon in it. Maybe a little drop.
You had lemon?
Yeah. Maybe
What'd you bring lemon for?
I had lemons, limes.
Oh my gosh.
So a little squeeze of lemon, a little dollop of maple syrup. Sit by the water.
Lemonade.
Oh my God.
Drinking lemonade up
It
in the
was
Allagash.
so refreshing. So I was super spoiled in that sense. Because I had someone ask, like, how the heck are you keeping deer meat for 10 days in this
Yeah,
weather?
right.
I'm like, yeah, it's
Well, I got my
kinda
ways.
magic. The water filter I used, I was super happy.
I'm really glad with that. I was a little worried about that. I was
Yeah.
like, you're going to filter.
It was
Like, are you sure this thing is like really good?
yeah. So I've used like some of the pump ones and whatnot. They're kind of annoying to use. Wanted something to efficiently filter water while I can do other things. And the Sawyer Squeeze was highly rated.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. So it's a bag with a cartridge that goes on the end of it. Fill up the bag of water, 2-liter bag. And then I would just attach it to one of my water bottles.
Yep.
And I'd go about my business with other things. And oftentimes I'd kind of forget about it and the bottle's overflowing.
Oh gosh.
I'd swap them out. But I mean, worked.
Do you,
Great.
because the bottles that you brought were how big?
They were, I think, a liter.
Would you
So-
change anything and say like you brought 2 of them? Would you bring 4 next time?
Yeah, or maybe a specific water jug. I didn't
Or-
want a lot of room, and it was just me. I didn't want a
Well-
lot of room taken up.
Oh, I know. So that's why I'm
With water
wondering, like,
jugs.
do you think you had a little more room for another container of some sort for water?
Yeah.
So you didn't have to like wait?
Yeah, I probably could have. But
Because I think there was one point you said you were like so thirsty and you hadn't filtered the water yet.
No.
And you had to wait. So
yeah.
you found something else.
Yeah. So yeah, that worked really good. I'll put a link in the description below with that. And then I'm going to do a full gear review of everything I used on the trip.
In a separate video.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be not a podcast, a video?
No, it'll be a video
Yeah.
on what I used and why. One thing I want to say is I find a lot of the campsites, I see where people had chopped logs like halfway through with an axe and then gave up. And I can kind of feel their frustration.
Okay.
Like, so it leads me to believe that there's a lot of people that do the Allagash, they don't have a saw.
Oh.
So they're trying to cut firewood by chopping
Mm-hmm.
up wood first, which is so annoying. And I saw a lot of spots where people like gave up halfway through the log. I use a silky saw. Foldable saw doesn't take up much room. You could cut up you're not going to cut up a cord of wood, but you could cut up enough wood for
to get going
to cook.
Yeah.
Used,
Did you use campfire to cook, or did
so
you use your stove?
I did a blend. I had 3 propane tanks. I used 2.5 little cylinders, 1 pound cylinders. And I just kind of played it by ear. The days that I wanted to cook on the fire, I'd cook on the fire. The days so I just kind of had some redundancy to be able to cook either way.
Yeah.
Whatever I felt at that point in time.
Are you going to talk about any changes you would do differently, or like?
Yeah.
Do you have that in there?
I do. So let me just talk about the canoe and stuff real quick. And then we'll just finish up with things that stuck with me, things I'd do different. Super happy about the canoe. Yeah. Super happy about the canoe. I was worried about paddling with a load.
Mm-hmm.
It performed phenomenally on the lakes.
Great.
That would be.
So you're building another one?
Like it really did well with a full load. I was so shocked.
So if we did this as a family down the road or whatever, would you want to, what kind of are you going to build another one like that?
Yeah,
or do you want to use a different canoe?
So mine's an 18-foot white guide. It's technically 18 and a half feet. There's not a lot of rocker to it. So it's not really a river. It's more of a general purpose canoe. Not really a river canoe per se. It is a bit of a rounded bottom. So it might feel a little tippy at first, but it's weird. You only tip to a certain point and then it feels like
it's not going to go anywhere.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's super, super stable. And so, and I know Gilpatrick does the Allagash I think he uses a 20-foot guide, white guide. Speaks very highly of them. Those white canoes were based roughly on Native American birch bark canoes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at them, they resemble that the Penobscot Indians used. Not a very deep canoe. I think it's about 12 inches. But very happy with how it turned a little slow in the river. Not something that would just snap around really easy. But again, it doesn't have a lot of rocker to it. But my gosh, I thought for sure, had some reservation in the lakes and just so happy with it. So happy with it. And then Jason showed up with a paddle for me. He makes paddles.
Yeah, that was really
and
nice.
He asked me for some measurements, and most comfortable paddle I've ever used.
That's great. Yeah, you came back, you're like, my hands are smooth.
They were like.
So good job, Jason.
It's almost like I wore my pads and my fingers off. The fingerprints. Super wicked comfortable. And then John Hemmerly sent me a net. That
beautiful net
I got to use. So those are the things that kind of, as far as gear wise, gear that someone has put their heart and soul into and has kind of a personal connection. Mm-hmm. Those mean the most to me. Yeah. That was there was something about paddling that canoe with that paddle and having that net behind me.
Oh, it was all handmade.
That's super special.
Yeah.
Very thankful. Yeah, Jason showed up here and he's like, hey, I'm outside your house. I got something for you.
I know. I felt so bad. I was sick. I couldn't go down and meet him. But yeah, he did a beautiful job on that.
So the only issue I had with the canoe, I just put a coat of poly on it. Got a little scratched up, but not bad. In towards the rear where I was sitting, I was ticking those shallow spots. I was hitting quite a bit. And I've got 3 layers of fiberglass back there, and I probably went through 1 layer of fiberglass. So I actually slapped on another little piece of fiberglass.
It's nice that you can just come home and give it a freshen up, and it's ready to go again. Yep.
It's light. Canoe weighs somewhere between 70 and 75 pounds. Easy to portage around. Super happy with it.
So
super happy.
And with all that being said, do you want to build another one, or what would you do for us?
I would. It? I think another one would just
be good
like it.
Because obviously I would be in a canoe, you'd be in a canoe.
Yeah.
So what kind of canoe would be best for me?
I think that'd work perfect.
So one like yours?
Yeah.
Same size?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You sure?
Paddles so.
You sure about that?
I probably averaged about 2 to 3 miles per hour when I paddled, depending on the wind. And, but made pretty good time.
So how close do you think you are to building another one?
Maybe next summer.
Okay.
maybe next summer.
We'll see.
So you asked me, what would I do different?
Yeah, like what are if there was anything that stood out? Because I mean, at one point you said it was, sleeping bag. You brought my sleeping bag because it was
save weight. I have one big dry bag that I put all of I vacuum packed every individual sets of clothing together.
Yeah, which was smart. Yep.
Just because if you've done any camping in June in Maine, it can get very damp at night.
Yeah, you don't want everything to feel
even
wet.
in a dry bag.
Yeah.
It can feel just dank.
So like when you
wet.
open those up and you change clothes, sweaty, soiled, like just whatever gross feeling clothes, you put on a nice fresh set of dry clothes.
And it's one thing I want to point. It's the little things in your trip that really make the difference.
Yeah.
If you can finish the day, even though you're soaking wet, uncomfortable, but if you know you got a dry set of clothes, like legit dry set, and you slice that open and that goes,
it's like,
and you put that on, even if it's only 20 minutes of like pure dryness
before you sweat it all,
or before it's damp because it's cool.
Yeah.
It does something to the mind. The same thing if it's cold out and you can get something warm to eat or warm to drink, a warm cup of coffee. It just does something to the mindset.
That basic needs of survival.
Right? Those hot days paddling, if I got to the campsite and all I had was warm water filtered from the river, totally different result than me sitting there with a cold glass of water with a squeeze of lemon and a little bit of maple syrup.
Well, I think also not just the mind, but like to your nervous system, like it signals I'm safe, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm refreshed to some degree.
Yeah.
Like you feel human.
So it's all those little things that actually make the discomfort.
The sleeping situation, your tent was fine.
Tent was fantastic.
You only brought the sleeping bag. You didn't have extra blankets or anything.
No,
which you really didn't need the second half of the trip.
No, a lot of times I didn't even sleep in the sleeping bag.
Right, but you didn't have a pillow.
No, I would just fold up some.
So anything like that,
jacket.
would you change like a smaller pillow?
Maybe
like little stuff.
Maybe I should have. I've got a Quillo. Right.
But I offered to throw in bows. Yeah. A bow has like a tiny one, and you said you didn't want it.
No. I had like wool lawn johns, so I had a separate pack, vacuum sealed bag of like couple extra pairs of wool socks, wool lawn johns.
Yeah.
So if I was going to be cold in your sleeping bag, I'd throw those lawn johns on.
Yeah.
And be good to go. But I did not need those on this trip.
No. Because I mean, you can also think about like, you can only bring so much, and you can't overpack for a lot of what ifs.
You got to pick and choose. Yeah.
So what are the most important what ifs to pack? Like you just said, the socks and the wool.
Yeah.
Clothing.
Having some access to dry gear, a good rain suit, extra paddle.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that pickle.
You don't want to break a paddle or just paddling and lose a paddle.
Yeah.
Like it fall out of your hands in the river.
Yeah.
And it's floating down the river.
Yeah.
Nice to have another paddle there to go paddle and get it. Just a couple different ways to cook your food, whether it be fire.
Yeah.
A good axe and a good saw.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get firewood efficiently. Yeah.
Not a serious issue, but you grew a beard while you were on the trip.
Yeah, I didn't bring it.
Did you purposely forget it, or did you just forget, or like, all right, I just don't need it?
It was one of those things that was further down on the list. Every time I thought about it, I was just kind of like,
whatever.
If I remember it before I go, I'll.
Did it start to feel weird though?
Yeah, I don't like.
Like, did you not like it?
I mean, I wasn't like super annoying.
Would you have actually taken the time to shave if you had your razor?
Maybe. I don't think it was that bad. But when I got home, I wasn't going to.
Did you brush your teeth?
Oh, yeah. Gosh, Lacey.
I hope so. You did bring your toothbrush.
Yes. Extra toothbrush at that.
Yep. Anything backups like medications or anything? You did had some stuff just in case.
Yeah. I mean, I had some medications for different things in case. I had obviously first aid kit.
Yep.
Water shoes, good pair of water shoes.
You did order a nice pair for that. I'd say nice, just something that suited
comfortable
you well.
that I could get in and out of the canoe with.
The only thing you did have blisters.
That was my own fault.
Yeah.
I was running around with sand in them at the falls. That was like the last day.
But what were you gonna say?
Get a good pair of backpack boots.
Mm-hmm.
I use a pair of Scarpa.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like they're not comfortable to walk on flat ground because they're super supportive. They're super solid. But if you're going to carry anything with a load, they are a phenomenal boot. I've used them for years for like carrying canoes into ponds to go fishing or a lot of fishing gear. They're more of an advanced boot. They can take a crampon. So they're a little more tactical, I guess, or technical.
Mm-hmm.
But they are incredibly comfortable on bad ground with a load on your back.
Nice.
And those have been one of my favorite pieces of equipment. When you're portaging a canoe, I can't imagine doing it in like a pair of like loosey-goosey shoes.
You need the support on your feet.
Like they are, like I said, they're...
So you need a really, a good supportive boot.
When you walk on the tower with them, you kind of feel like you're walking in a ski boot. So they're not comfortable on...
Right. But you need them.
But when you get out in the woods, and especially with a load,
yeah,
they're phenomenal. Best campsite, I'd probably say High Bank or Schofield Point. My favorite places. Best views, just absolutely gorgeous.
Not the first campsite?
High Bank.
Oh, that's what it's
called. Did
I
say High Point? I meant High Bank.
I don't know. I'm just I lose track of some of the names.
Worst weather moment was probably leaving Thoreau. That was pretty rough. Most peaceful moment was crossing Chamberlain.
Mm.
That was like glass and the mountains were behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else? My best meal. Guess what that was? Because
Hmm.
I had some delicious meals.
You did. Hold on. Was it? I don't know. Was it the beef bourguignon?
No, you're going to be astonished.
Okay, I don't know.
The freaking red hot dogs and beans.
No, I forgot about that. Ew, Paul.
It brought me back to so many trips.
So we tried to have red hot dogs before you left.
Ugh. Yeah,
We thought, were they yours? The same ones you were bringing?
Yeah.
We took some out. And I took one bite of that and I was like, oh, it's so slimy inside. I'm like, I can't eat this. I was like, have fun eating this on your trip. You really enjoyed it. Did you cook it on the fire?
No. Yes. Did I?
Because you had beans. You had cooked.
So I made bannock.
But I had made brown bread. Did you have the brown bread?
So I had brown bread with it.
So you had the brown bread, the red hot dog.
Yep.
Did you have a bun or did you just use the brown bread for the hot dog?
Just ate the hot dog with the beans.
Did you have fiddleheads with it?
Nope. I made you were
going to do that night?
Like a cabbage salad.
Oh, I thought you were doing fiddleheads with it.
Nope.
Okay.
So it was raining. It was damp. The rain's coming down on the tarp.
Yeah.
It brought me back to so many fishing trips of that same scenario.
So did it taste... So you did eat red hot dogs at home before you left?
Yeah.
Did it taste better in the woods?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, of all the meals I had, beef bourguignon.
Are you for real? That red hot dog was your favorite?
I had trout. I had, what else I have for meals?
You had deer burger, deer steak.
Deer burger, great desserts.
Yeah. I mean.
What else? I had like a rice bowl one night.
Oh, you had the curry sauce, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I had partridge with a red curry sauce.
Coconut. It was like a
coconut curry sauce.
It was like a roasted red pepper coconut curry sauce that I had made and froze from a while ago.
Super good. And hands down, I'm not
You're
lying.
going, we're going to have red hot dogs for supper this week?
No, it's not going to be the same. That's happened a lot. You talk to people that...
It is.
Especially like red wine drinkers. Oh, I had Forrest Dudley's red wine.
Yeah.
First night with some deer steak. Oh my God.
You had dark chocolate chunk oatmeal cranberry cookies that we cooked you, which you were sad. You kind of ran out of those.
I was joking around with you. I was
a few days before the trip.
I'm panicking. You're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, it's day 9.
You're like, I'm
out of cookies.
I always look forward to having that cookie after my paddling.
Yeah, after a long paddle.
So I tried to get you to take more. How was the wine?
Oh, it was so good. Again, that can be the environment and the situation.
Yeah, I feel like what have we eaten in the woods that is so good, and then we come home, it's like, yeah.
Not just that. I've heard so many stories of. I remember the story that really sticks out of a couple. They were on their anniversary in France, and they were at some nice hotel.
I think you told me this.
They ordered a nice bottle of wine with dinner.
Yeah,
and
then they tried to get it again.
And then they had some on their balcony, I think, up in their room. And they're like, this is like the best wine they've ever had. They ordered a case of it and had it shipped back to the U.S.
Didn't taste so good.
They had it when they got home. They're like, it sucked.
That's so
Like,
fun.
So how much environment plays into all this stuff is so important.
Sure is.
Um,
Person, environment,
as
task.
far as gear right now, I still have a lot to think about with the trip. It really went better than I could have planned because the weather worked out.
Well, there's some things
Very fortunate.
There's some things you just don't have control.
You don't.
So
And you plan for the worst, hope for the best. I was planning for wet days, soggy days, cold days. They just didn't come. Some people might hate the hot days. I like the heat.
you like the heat.
It
It
I could
worked
work
out for
around
you.
it.
Yeah.
And having a nice ice cold drink, knowing that at the end of your paddle, like knowing that when I get to that campsite, I'm going to pour a nice tall glass of water. It's going to be so good. That's makes it all worthwhile.
It's all glass of water.
Yeah. Sunscreen and extra glasses.
Yeah,
Would
you
be a big
definitely
one
want to
for
bring
me.
that. You definitely want to bring that.
I definitely don't need as many cameras that I brought,
So you learned that.
but I probably would bring them nonetheless because
Okay.
I'm like that.
Mm.
I was pretty camera heavy. So, but that was kind of the purpose of the trip. Yeah, as we tease out more and evaluate how the trip went, I'll share more of that. But I've got a series of videos coming out that are focused more on the history and what the river means. It's not just me canoeing and camping. It's not really about me. So there's more to it than that.
Well, I look forward to those, seeing what you put together.
Yeah. Like I said, tons of footage, 4 terabytes of footage.
Do you have any bloopers?
Yeah. I think I got some on there. I got one
Okay.
where I was in some dead water and there was a moose on the bank. I shared this one of the updates. There was a moose standing on the bank. So I went to grab one of my cameras with a long lens. By the time I get it out, he's gone. It was hot and I'm just kind of floating along there. I'm like, well, I'll pull out my mat, see where I'm at. And I just had kind of gotten sideways and was slowly just kind of drifting. It was a very calm spot in the river. And I had to laugh like 5 minutes before. I'm seeing like some random rocks here in the calm river, paint all over them. I'm like, how do people hit these rocks?
Oh my gosh.
They're like by themselves in the river. How do you do that? I literally sitting there looking at a map.
You learned.
I go right up onto a rock. And of course it was right smack dab in the middle of the canoe. Oh my God.
You're like, well, that's
Like,
how they do it.
You bonehead. Pay attention. So I jumped out, pulled it off. Wasn't too bad, but yeah, going into the bushes when I ducked under
Yeah.
I don't know if I had a camera on that.
Oh,
or
look, an
not.
eagle.
Yeah. I wish I would have had, my camera
it's
going
the
with the
plane,
sunglasses.
the plane.
Because that was pretty pathetic. It was like slow motion. They fall off my head and I'm just like,
Plunk.
oh man. So yeah, I hope, like I said, I got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to go through. And yeah, I'll do a complete video on the gear because I spent a lot of time kind of honing that down, especially the whole charging stuff. I was very, last thing I want to point out is I was very cognizant of, I didn't want like solar panels out and batteries charging and have someone go by. I felt that was very tacky. Like it takes from the wilderness experience.
Okay.
And maybe I'm being a little over the top with it, but I tried to keep that at a minimum. Charge when I was paddling and just not be, because it takes away from
Not be so techie up there.
the wilderness experience. But for me to do what I wanted to do, it was kind of.
Well, I think you got to remember
necessity.
too, the purpose of some of this that you're doing is to get people outside.
Yeah.
And so you can't share this with them if you don't have the video and the.
It's going to show
you know.
How comfortable you can be regardless of the conditions. If you've got just a little bit of planning.
And it's how we learn from each other. And thankfully today there are some benefits to being able to use this technology. It's not always the greatest.
And
for
as
other
guilty
reasons.
as I felt about that little 12-volt cooler, man, that thing was
Well, it made your trip a little more enjoyable.
money.
Right?
Like it was, no digging through ice and
Right?
slop that comes from stuff thawing out and it becoming a mess in the cooler. I had cold fruit, cheeses, drinks, you name it. So
Gouda,
oh yeah, it was
fig jam,
jeez. You name
specialty
it.
crackers.
You name
Tell
it.
ya.
Mascarpone.
Yeah. I'm
yogurt.
expecting some of this stuff cooked here now, please. Chef.
Just
Chef Paul.
worked out really good. Really good. So
And
definitely we'll share more.
Most importantly, you made it back.
Yeah. Did you have doubts that I was going to make it back?
No. I just didn't know like how long your trip was going to end up being.
Yeah.
Because you also, it was a 2-hour drive to go get you.
Yes.
Just shy of 2 hours. Yep. So I had to rearrange some scheduling stuff for the kids so we could, because we were playing it by ear on your day of like departure. Well, I mean, departing from your campsite at Allagash Falls.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
So
the last thing I will say that I wish I would have done better, and I'm still working on this. I don't know if I can ever I've left, but I'm not there, is to be able to enjoy the journey. My goal with this trip was to 100%
you enjoyed it.
enjoy the journey, but there were still snippets where.
Well, I think that was part of why you needed to do it, because it's going to be a continual work until,
yeah,
till the end.
Yeah.
So we just work towards those things.
If someone can do it with the flexibility to take the river as it comes, that's like,
go for it.
That's your best scenario.
But what about
best scenario?
You didn't touch upon, I know we got to wrap this up, but what were you thinking and feeling on the end of the journey?
A lot. I missed my family.
Like it was a big moment. We were standing there with the camera waiting for you to come down and so trying to find the right spot where you were going to be. And
I missed my family. That was the most important. Most along the trip, I kept saying I was loving it, but I was like, I wish I could share this with my wife and kids. I wish I could be here with them.
Which was about what? At Allagash Falls?
Anytime.
Well, no, but there was a point you said where you were kind of like,
the morning,
was it, like day what?
When I finished,
you're kind of like, okay, I'm all set.
When
now.
I left Allagash Falls and I'm looking at it in the rear view or behind me,
you were ready to come back.
I was ready to be off the river.
But you were also really like, what? Like I did it.
Yeah, in a canoe I built.
I accomplished this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, in a canoe I built.
So you felt really you felt like it had been a good success.
Yep. But on the flip side, people have asked, like, could you have stayed longer? Like, I could have done another 12 days.
Yeah.
If my family would have been there with me. No questions asked.
Yeah.
I did not. The first thing I enjoyed disconnecting from society.
Yeah.
The first thing I see when I get to civilization is a news article on someone in Ireland with an attempted decapitation.
Oh.
And I'm just like,
I never saw that.
What the freak? Like,
yeah.
Take me back to Schofield Point.
Yeah.
Please. Like it just, anyway.
But you had a successful trip.
Very.
And
I hope I can do it justice.
You came, you ended it. Everything went well.
Yep.
Your kids were happy to see you back. Bo was ready for Dad to come back because he was tired, I think, being stuck with all these girls for so long.
So.
And loaded her all back up and.
Yeah, cleaning things out now.
Drove her home. Drove it home.
Yep. So yeah, I'm sure I still miss stuff that.
And thank you.
That I wish I would have done differently.
Your parents dropped you off.
Yep. Appreciate them dropping me off.
The beginning, they set you off, let you set sail off into the sun.
Pushed me out, and I was like, I'll see everyone in 10 to 12 days.
In a little while.
Pray everything goes good. And it, for the most part, was just about as good as it could have been. I don't think I could have asked for anything better.
Well, definitely a blessed trip.
Yeah. So it can be super comfortable if you're thinking about doing it. Check out that book if you're thinking about doing it. If you have any question, like if you want it to be the most enjoyable experience possible, which is what it should be. I don't think these trips should be like just grinded out get through it sort of thing. I think it's important to enjoy the experience. And if you don't feel confident, like I said, it's the little things that really make or break the trip. Hire a guide or someone who's done it before, who understands all those little things that can
just say,
make or break your day.
Find a
it's
way,
well worth it.
Find a way to do it, right? Whether it's with a guide or people or by yourself or whatever.
It's well worth it.
Just give it a go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You're going to have wet times. You're going to have hot times, tired times, but having that little thing glimmer of hope to look forward to at the end of the day, a nice warm meal or nice cold drink, nice warm cup of coffee, some dry clothes, it changes your whole mindset that day.
You're solid. You're good.
It's just, yeah. It's all little things.
Okay.
All right.
That being said, I got to go.
Yes. So anything else you want to add, or would you let me do it again?
Yeah.
Would you want to do it with me next time?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. See what happens.
We'll see what happens. We have 3 kids and a dog to put in the canoes.
That throws in a whole another element.
I don't know how the dog would do.
Yeah.
She's not. We'd have to get her some more canoe time, and we probably wouldn't do a 12-day trip.
No.
I would like to see some parts of it.
Yeah.
Aren't there some like ice caves or?
We're in Allagash. We could do. I've done a trip into Allagash before. That's a nice little trip.
I don't know, just some whatever you thought was really neat that would be a good experience for the kids.
Yep.
But especially as they get older, it'll be a little easier.
Yes.
They're getting there.
Yep.
Sadly, they're getting there.
They are. All right.
So if you want to do it again, go for it. But just remember, I get a 10-day shopping spree.
Okay. That trip sounds expensive.
Yes, sir, it does.
All righty. So, I guess that's all she wrote.
Okay.
So until next time, get outside.
It's good for the soul.
See ya.